I thought the week got off to a good start yesterday. The guys worked hard. We had a good practice day. I think that they put a lot of energy into it. So I think we got better mentally as well as physically. And so we'll try to do some more of that today. And then we'll get ready to go up to Green Bay. So injury situation is still what it is. The Minzy and Gray, they limited. I think they'll be limited again today. And we'll see how they come along and see whether they can play in the game or not. Who else? Toribio, Bailey, Brown, Copper, Flowers, and Kalu, Kendrick. They're not doing anything today. So, but everybody else should be there doing something, and we'll see how it goes. But it was a good day yesterday, a real good day, and told them we wanted another good day today, which I think that we'll have, and we'll go from there and see what happens. Questions?
Romeo, I want to go over those names again. I think I missed what you said. Toribio, Bailey, Brown, Flowers, Lewis, and I think you mentioned another name.
Copper. Copper.
Okay.
He's got that growing. Yeah.
But Jeff Allen.
Jeff, he should practice today.
What was the big reason for that?
Spike in energy yesterday.
I told him I needed it. No, I don't know what it was. I think I think that this team. I mean, you know, they want to do good. They want to be good. They want to win games, and they understood that they needed to practice harder for us to win, and so they practiced hard. Not that they have not been practicing hard, because I think they've had good attitudes all during camp, and they've been working hard all during camp. We just haven't taken it to the game field all the time, and so we'll just keep working hard, and I think eventually we're going to get it to the game field, and some of the things that we're able to do on the practice field, we'll be able to take it to the game field and have success on the game field.
Is it just a matter of getting preseason over and getting into gear for the regular season?
Well, that's part of it, you know, and dealing with the changes and all the things that you have to deal with. You know, last week we moved from camp, and you know, all of those kind of things, change the schedule, and sometimes players, when they haven't dealt with it before, it affects them. And I know we talked about practicing when normally we've been going to lunch, you know, so I don't know how much of an impact that had or anything like that, but there was a lot of change last week. And so if you don't focus and concentrate, you know, sometimes it shows up on the game field that you're not focused enough. And so I think that the guys want to focus, and they're trying to get that done. And going into the regular season here, hopefully we'll have our focus where we need it to be, so that we can perform at a high level, you know, when the regular season starts.
Romeo, you plan to play Tamba on Thursday night?
Yep.
So he'll take whatever role he normally would take?
Correct.
Is that difficult to figure out what to do with him given his circumstances?
No, not really. I mean, he's a football player. He wants to play football, so we will let him play. But I think that we'll keep him on the same schedule that we're going to have the starters on, you know, and not give him any more or any less. Because I think that because he is a starter, I don't think you want to expose him more than you expose your other starters, you know. And we'll deal with his circumstance, you know, next week.
So you feel like there's enough work doing that? There's enough work for Studebaker and whoever else might fill in for him?
Yep. I mean, they've been here the whole time. If it were a guy who had not been here, like Jones, now you might say that, hey, should give Jones more work because he's learning the system and all, but he's picking up things pretty nicely, and he works hard at practice. So I don't think taking Tamba and taking him out will increase Jones's effectiveness that much more, you know. So we got that group, and they all work well together. And when Tamba's not here, those other guys will have to step up.
Somebody asked you about Dontari Poe recently, and your answer was that he was meeting your rookie expectations for him. What are your expectations for him this year, particularly early in the season?
Well, my expectations have been all along that he learn our defense and our system and be an efficient player in our system. And if he can do that, then he'll help us win. If he doesn't do that, then it'll be hard to win, because in this defense, you have to be good down the middle, and the nose is right in the middle of the defense. And so his ability to be efficient impacts the inside linebackers behind him and the outside linebackers outside of him. You know, I mean, we know that the linebackers are the playmakers in this defense generally, and one of the reasons that they are the playmakers is because those guys up front, you know, keep them clean.
You've got an injury ahead of him on the depth chart. You may need him more early in the season than maybe you initially anticipated. Do you have to alter your expectations for him given the circumstances around him?
Well, I don't think I alter the expectations. You know, you still give him the reps, and you give him the practice time, and you coach him to try to get him where you need him to be. And then I think that the young man is a conscientious young man. He wants to do good. He wants to help this team win, and I think that he'll do everything he can to do that.
Right, have you changed what you're asking him to do because he's going to be playing more?
How can I change what I'm asking him to do? I mean, I'm asking him to be the most efficient nose tackle that he can be. And if he can be that, he will help the team win. So all of a sudden, I'm not asking him to rev up what he's doing or to cut back on anything he's doing. I mean, I want him to play the technique the way it needs to be played. And he's still learning how to play the technique, you know. And so if he continues to learn, all right, and continues to perform, then I think that he will be an effective player for us.
The fact that he had him rushing the passer more than playing a rundown, has that been a factor that's where your need was, or is that a sign that he's ahead in the pass rush part of it as opposed to the run defense part of it?
Yeah, well, you know what, back when we drafted him, I mentioned that he might have more of an impact as a third down player than a first and second down player, because the techniques that we use on first and second are so different than what he's been used to. Whereas on third down, they're more like what he was doing in college, you know, and he showed some flashes that he could do some things, particularly in a one-on-one situation. So that's why we put him there in that pass rush area. And if he can get those things done, then I think that he'll help our outside rushers, you know, because if he shows the ability that he can get into the pocket, you know, now the quarterback might not be able to step up to deliver the ball, you know, when those outside guys come off the edge.
Confidence can be a fragile thing for a young team like this one. In light of the last couple of preseason games where things have not gone very well, is it more important than usual to have some good things happen in this last preseason game?
Well, I think, yeah, when you have good things happen, that's a positive all the way around, you know, and I think that from the coaching standpoint, what you have to be careful about when you're not playing well is that you don't beat them up too much, you know, because now then they lose all confidence. So you do have to point out the good things that they do, and as like you point out the bad things that they do. And if you can do anything good, and show that you can do some good things, then you try to build on that, and then that confidence level that you're talking about, then that can occur. But if you never do anything good and you always get beat up, then you believe that.
In light of that, would you expect, and I know it'll depend on what happens during the game, that the starters might play Thursday night maybe a little more generally than starters play in the fourth preseason game?
Well, like I said yesterday, you know, what I want to see is I want to see an efficient operation, you know, from all the units, and particularly the starting unit. So if they go out there and they operate efficiently, then I might be inclined to say, well, we've done something good, you know. And if we don't do anything good, then I might say we need to do something good, you know, to build up that confidence level and all of those things that you mentioned.
Last one, Bob.
Coach, with whether as a head coach, coordinator, position coach, is this last preseason game always the same? You just kind of stand there and go, don't get hurt, don't get hurt, let's get this done, don't get hurt. Nobody's going to remember the score of this game tomorrow, let's get done, don't get hurt.
Oh, maybe to a degree, but there is some significance in the game to how you play. You know, you can go out and you can stink the place up, and then you can take your starters out, and sometimes that will carry over to the regular season, you know. So that's one of the reasons that I mentioned to you I want to be efficient and look good. And if we can get that one done, then it's easier to take them out at that time.